So the beginning of a calendar year for many people is always dreary period because there are loads of people online who are showcasing, oh, I made this last year and then I made this and these are my big goals. And for some of us, we're like, well, last year didn't really go as planned. So I decided to, do a detour and instead share some of the biggest lessons I learned last year. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So here I teach you everything marketing for your product, service, or knowledge business. Now today I'm going to be sharing some of the biggest lessons that I learned doing business last year and just some of my takeaways and analysis, and hopefully you're able to take a thing or two out of today's video. Now, the first lesson that I learned was you need people to run your business. So last year was one of the most horrible year ever that I've lived because half of the year I was living in depression. So I lost a baby and then I just went downhill. So I couldn't really function, right, for most of the year. However, my programs were still running because I had the hindsight to hire coaches into my business. Now, for the biggest time, I've been saying, oh, I want to, bring in other coaches into my business, but I just didn't know how to. Now, I was finally able to go see somebody who was doing it. So you see me here, I was at Myers event in Atlanta, and I just wanted to see how she worked with other coaches to help her clients. And I brought that back and got 5 coaches into my business. Now, when it hit me real bad and I couldn't show up, the coaches were showing up for my clients. And at the end of the year, we were still able to achieve beautiful results. We had some of our clients, become 9-figure businesses in Nigerian Naira. That is 100 million Naira and above. So for me, it was a big win because despite the fact that I couldn't function a large chunk of the year, my program still it still held. My mastermind, it still went through because I had people. So I always say, you have to work with people. I speak to many entrepreneurs every day and I hear things like, nobody can do it the way I do. Hey, yeah, sorry, nobody can do it. It's perfect. And my response is always that when you say things like that, you make us believe that God only created you. Like you're the only intelligent person on earth. You're the only smart person. You're the only trustworthy person. There is other people like you. It's a different case if you say, oh, I haven't found them yet. And we can then look for experts who can help you find great hire and, just create a culture that nourishes people who are of that type of mind. But we need to get out of that mind space where we feel like, oh, nobody can do the work like me, because there were deals where I couldn't post. And me, I used to be like, nobody can post for me. Stories that touch. I had to get to a point where I was okay with people supporting, and posting once or twice here and there and all of that. So that was one major lesson, that shook me last year. Now, the second lesson, fear is just in your head. You see, many times we are like, oh, are they going to buy? So you're scared to raise your prices. You're scared to even charge your worth. You're quick to give discounts. Like once you just ask, is that the best price? You don't even go to, trying to sell your value or sell the quality of the product or service. It's just straight, take 20% off, give me the money type of thing. So we live in fear as entrepreneurs because this is your livelihood. Like if you don't sell, your children are not going to feed, they're not going to go to school, those type of things. So you're like, oh my God, I just need to sell. So you do anything you can to sell. So I learned that fear is all in the head. So for a while, right, I wanted to really create this amazing mastermind. I tested it in 2021, but in 2022, I wanted to expand it, bringing in other coaches and just, so I increased the price. Now, I argued with myself in my head. I'm like, are they going to pay? Are they going to pay? But I needed to increase the price to be able to pay the coaches that I was hiring, right? Even if they're my friends, where I'm not paying them their real worth, don't tell anybody, but I had to give them something. Like I can't even do that, But so that money needed to come from the business because I run a business where it has to be profitable or we ain't doing it. And I lived in that fear for the longest time. Like Will they pay? Will they pay? Will they pay? Guess what? So I only sell my mastermind inside my workshop, business growth workshop. I told them about the price, the new price. And guess what? Plenty people still applied. I'm like, what? So I had to, because there's an interview process. So I had to interview everybody. I rejected some and I selected. So like I had a large pool to select the people I wanted. I selected 28 entrepreneurs, and there were still people I rejected to see how many people. And the year before there was 20 people. So I increased the numbers, I increased the price, and we were all fine. So months later, when I was doing the analysis, I was just like, wait, Tricia, it was all in your head. Like, they'll pay. Guess what? I increased the price again for 2023 and they applied. Oh my gosh. They applied. Like, what? 40 something people applied for 2023 mastermind. And I just finished the interviews. And I'm in the selection process, sending acceptance letters, contracts, invoices, and all of that. It was just an aha moment for me, when I was writing the notes for this video. Like, fear is all in your head. Maybe many times you've been told, you're not good enough, or you've just built a bubble of lies where you believe that if you are bold enough to charge your worth, that people would go. Will people go? Yes. But the people who understand what you bring to the table, the people who understand the quality of the product or whatever it is that you're selling, they'll stay. Because at the end of the day, why should I provide a service and be hungry? It doesn't add up. No, it doesn't. Lesson number three. It's okay to take a break. Oh, it is okay to take a break. See, I'm one of those people that I don't take a break. I'm a workaholic. I'm going to own it with my full chest. I'm a workaholic. I work, and I've been like this from my 9 to 5 days. So anybody who ever worked with me, I drive everybody crazy because I'm going and I'm working. I think now I even work less than when I had a 9 to 5 job, because then I was trying to prove to other people, but now I'm like, oh, I know I'm good. Who am I proving to? So I've always worked, and I never thought that, taking a break was a thing. So I would go on a holiday, right, here and there, but I always have my laptop on those trips. So it's really a holiday because I'm working. My mates are going to the shops or they're going sightseeing. I'm like, well, let me send email first, and then I'm back and whatnot. I'm still having business calls on the holiday. So I never really took a break. So imagine when I couldn't work. Like, my brain wasn't processing work. I couldn't function. My brain was only processing negative things. Like, if I stood on a staircase, I'll be processing how I can fall down off the staircase and die. Or if I was sitting in a car, I'm processing, what if I just open the door now and just jump into the express and maybe a car won't hit me. Maybe the car will just ride on top of me. Like, just stupid things. So my brain stopped being productive and was counterproductive, whatever it is it was doing, for weeks on end. And then I was forced to take a break, and everybody was fine. My followers were fine. My clients were fine. And that was like the biggest realization. Like, everybody will be fine. Everybody, like, literally, if you drop dead today, we'll print a t-shirt and we'll pick your best picture and put it on there, and we'll light a candle and we will mourn you. Truly, we'll miss you, but we will move on. Your children will call somebody else mother after a while. Your wife might remarry if you're a guy. Like, we will move on. Literally, your staff will go and look for another job. Will they be jobless all their lives because you decided to exit the world? So I just realized that, what? It's okay to take a break, right? While we had 9 to 5s, we were constantly pursuing our leave. Like, if they don't give us leave, you call your boss a witch and all those things. But now that you own the business, where you are supposed to take those your 30-day leave that you used to fight for, take it now. So it's okay, because it also helps the brain refresh, re-energize, come up with other ideas, and live a balanced life, because life is not all about work. There's other aspects of our lives that we also need to build besides the balance sheet and numbers, right? So that was a really big lesson for me last year. Now, the fourth lesson, or the next lesson, I don't even know what number I am, is just do it. Just do it. So for many years, right, I have been talking about, I want to start an interview series, a show where I interview leading experts out of Nigeria or, big businesses out of Africa. Now, I wanted to do this because when you Google or when you go online to search, you'd mostly find success stories of foreign businesses or businesses in terrains like the UK, US, Europe, etc. But there's hardly success stories told of African businesses. You'll find one or two here and there. Half the time, the stories are riddled with God did it, Jesus did it. You're unable to pick out like tangible lessons to take you through as an upcoming entrepreneur in the African climb. So I'm like, you know what, I want to do this show. And I have talked about it since 2017. Yeah. I talked about it constantly. Anybody around me, they've had a mouthful, but I just never did it because I'm like, where do I get this? It was just like, it was just a lot of things. And eventually last year, of all years, last year where I wasn't productive most of the time, I decided that I want to launch the show. And yeah, that's me. That's me, at the launch event and everything. And let me shock you, I didn't have to spend a dime of my money to produce the show, right? Because that was one of the big fears. I don't want to take money from here and fund this, but I really wanted to do it. But in the planning process, I'm just like, let me reach out to brands. Like, there are so many brands who over the years have wanted to work with me. And I pitched it to a brand and they said yes. Yeah, traction. They said yes, and they paid sponsorship money. I used that to pay everybody who worked on the project. And I had some change, girls gotta have some change for this fine face and all that. So it just told me that, just do it. Like, just get into the process. Help will always come, or you'll figure it out. But when you sit down and you want it all solved before you move, it never happens. So just take a step. And that's something that you hear when we talk about relationship with God. Like, God will give you the idea and he'll give you the instruction, but he won't give you the full picture, right? So you don't go and rely on yourself. And so that as you take one step, you're like, excuse, I'm still waiting, next step. So that you learn to trust him to guide you down the path, right? So yeah, like Nike says, just do it. Another lesson, maybe I'll end here because I can just go into plenty lessons, is that no one is coming to get you. Absolutely no one. So sometimes we sit in, life happens. Life happens to all of us, right? It may be poor sales, it may be loss, it may be something, and you sit in that place long enough and we assume that, oh, there's somebody who's going to come and rescue you out of the big ditch, out of the debts you found yourself in, out of the whatever. I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but nobody's coming for you. Absolutely nobody. And you just have to get up. There's a false narrative of, oh, there's help. I don't know. Maybe there's help. I don't know. But I don't know that there is. Beyond your friends and family trying to do the best they can do for you, but they can't even do it for you. They can push you and ginger you and console you and hug you, but at the end of the day, you need to get up yourself and get back on track. So it's okay. It's absolutely okay to get off track. It's absolutely okay to fall down, but don't stay down too long, because down there it ain't pleasant. Get up as best and as fast as you can, and I always just have it at back of my head now, that is, there's nobody coming. I have to get up for me. I have to get up for me. I have to show up for me. Okay. And the final lesson that I just shared that I learned last year is it's okay to be different. Absolutely, it's okay to be different. Now, how, you may ask? So 2 years ago, I decided that I was not going to do one-to-one coaching anymore. Now, that used to be the bread of my business. Over 60% of my revenue was coming from coaching, and I decided to stop it because I was no longer, I was no longer enjoying myself. So last year there was like so much pressure from people, reaching out, oh, I need one-to-one coaching, or why are you the only coach not offering it and everything, and having to explain that I'm on a different path. Some people have the impression like, oh, maybe she's proud or whatever it is. But I just told myself it's actually okay to be different. Like, I don't have to offer the services that every other coach is offering. I'm not even sure every coach does one-to-one, or let's say a bulk of us do it. But you don't have to. Like, I've come to a point where it's all about what I find joy doing, like what makes me happy. Because you don't want to eventually build a business, especially if you're a knowledge entrepreneur like myself. You don't want to build a business that is filling your bank account, but it's not filling your heart. Like, you're not enjoying it. You show up because you have to, not because you want to. That's the worst type of business that you could create. So if you decide that, oh, I only want to do an online course, and there's pressure to do something else, it's fine to repeat to everybody that I don't offer that service. And you really don't have to explain yourself, because I got tired of explaining. So I think I stopped responding at a point in time, which in hindsight was not the right thing to do. But at the end of the year, I had fulfillment. My clients had results. I had decent money in the bank, and I just told myself that this is it. Is living a life where you actually enjoy what you do and you're not a slave to money. Many entrepreneurs were slaves to money. We take the deal because we need the money. You are not a slave to money. You are a co-creator, which means that you can create wealth. You can create what you want, and you can create it on your terms. So going into 2023, my chart to you is do what you love. Like, find the right mix of profit and passion in your business and stay there. It's okay. It's okay to zig when everybody's zagging. It's totally fine. So yeah, those are some lessons that I learned last year. Last year was what, 2022. So some lessons I learned last year, and I do hope that you were able to take a thing or two out of it. So going into the year proper, I have some videos I'm cooking for you all. I plan to be more active on this channel. So please subscribe to my channel. Yeah, that's what they say. Subscribe, like, comment, but just drop a comment and let me know, which are the lessons you're taking away, and most importantly, what's that one lesson that you learned last year that you're taking into this year and forward for your business or for your personal life. All right, so I'll see you in the next video. Toodles.